All right, let's dive into animal intelligence.
Oh, okay.
And, going way beyond the typical chimpanzees using tools.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about crows planning for the future.
Uh-huh.
Dolphins maybe recognizing themselves in a mirror.
Okay.
Even what intelligence really means.
Yeah.
You sent me a Spanish documentary and a YouTube video from Ecology Verde. Looks like
Yeah.
we've got a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff, actually. It really makes you think differently about
Yeah.
how we define the word smart and how we measure intelligence across the animal kingdom.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with our closest relatives, the primates. I mean, we've all seen those documentaries with chimpanzees using sticks to fish for termites, but, what's really going on in their brains?
Well, it's really amazing what's going on in their brains.
Yeah.
Evolutionarily, we share a lot of our history with them, and that explains, why they have such complex brain structures. And it's not just genetics either. It's, you see with chimpanzees, for example,
Yeah.
their tool use isn't just something that's purely instinctual. It's something that is learned. Different groups of chimpanzees have their own techniques that they kind of developed over time. Almost like cultural traditions passed down through generations.
So it's not just about having a big brain, it's about how they use it socially.
Exactly. And the social structures are incredibly complex, you know? The documentary really highlighted how chimpanzees will form alliances, they'll engage in power struggles,
Wow.
and they even seem to have some grasp of fairness and reciprocity.
Okay.
It's not just, simply grabbing a banana.
Wow. Now, the documentary also talked about bonobos,
Right.
and they seem like the
Yeah.
pacifists of the primate world,
Yeah, they are.
So how does their intelligence differ from chimps?
Well, that's what's so interesting about bonobos. They're a really fascinating counterpoint to chimpanzees.
Uh-huh.
They are incredibly social and cooperative, and their communication is key.
Okay.
They use a variety of vocalizations, gestures, even physical contact to maintain harmony and resolve any conflicts they have. It's almost, like they've mastered diplomacy.
Right.
It's really...
It makes you wonder, how much of it is instinct versus conscious decision-making?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the question that researchers are still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're even asking the question really does show the complexity of their social intelligence.
Okay.
So...
So we've got the brainy chimps, the peacemaking bonobos.
Mhm.
What about the gorillas? They're often portrayed as gentle giants.
All right.
But are they kind of intellectually underestimated?
I think they are underestimated. They may not be as flashy as chimps,
Right.
going around and doing all this stuff. But their intelligence is undeniable. They learn by observation. They learn through imitation. They have incredible long-term memory. There's a reason why they say gorilla see, gorilla do.
Right. And then there are the orangutans, these incredible jungle survivors.
Yes.
The documentary mentioned they build these intricate nests every night. Is that where their intelligence shines?
Well, it's definitely an example of their problem-solving skills and their adaptability building those nests.
Okay.
But orangutans also use tools to gather food,
Mm-hmm.
and they exhibit pretty impressive future planning.
Really?
They seem to be able to remember where certain fruits will be ripe, and they'll even consider potential obstacles,
Wow.
like, the weather and their foraging strategies.
So they're not just reacting to the environment, they're actively thinking ahead.
They're actively thinking ahead.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really challenges what we think about when we say intelligent,
Absolutely.
It really does.
It's making me rethink the whole, humans are at the top of the intelligence pyramid idea.
And speaking of challenging assumptions, let's go to the ocean next. The documentary really emphasized cetaceans, especially dolphins and whales.
Okay.
Ah.
I'm ready to be blown away. Dolphins always seem so playful and curious. Is there more going on beneath the surface, so to speak?
Oh, definitely. Just to start, cetacean brains are massive.
Yeah.
Just based on sheer size alone, they're contenders for the highest levels of intelligence on the planet.
Okay.
But it's not just about size, it's about the structure and function too.
So how do dolphins use all that brain power?
Well, they've got complex communication systems. They use clicks, whistles, body language to
Right.
convey information to one another.
Right.
They cooperate when they're hunting. They've got really sophisticated strategies to herd and capture prey. And then there's the whole question of self-awareness.
Oh, right, the mirror test.
Right. the mirror test.
That's where they put a mark on the animal and see if it recognizes itself in the reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a controversial test.
Yeah.
But some studies do suggest that dolphins might be able to recognize themselves in the mirror.
Wow.
And if that's true, it implies a level of self-awareness that is really remarkable.
That's mind-boggling. I mean, I know that humans are supposed to be the self-aware species, but to think that a dolphin might be contemplating its own existence,
Right.
it's just, wow.
It really is. And then you've got whales. I mean, they have just incredible vocal abilities and social complexity.
I'm always mesmerized by those whale songs. Is there more to them than just the beautiful sounds?
Oh, much more. I mean, humpback whale songs, for instance, are so complex and they evolve over time. They've got different dialects, and individuals will learn and modify their songs from each other.
Oh, wow.
So it's a form of cultural transmission, similar to what we see with the chimpanzees.
So they're not just singing instinctively, they're learning from each other and passing down cultural knowledge.
They are.
That's incredible.
And it's not just the songs. I mean, whales also pass down migration routes and feeding techniques across generations, which suggests a level of social learning and cultural complexity that we're only just beginning to understand.
This is already so much more than I expected. And we haven't even gotten to birds yet.
I know.
I'm excited to see what other surprises are in store.
Well, get ready to have your mind blown, because birds are far more intelligent than most people realize.
I've always been impressed by parrots mimicking human speech. But is there more to their intelligence than just copying sounds?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their brains are structured differently from ours, but they're incredibly efficient. Some parrot species, like the African gray parrot, don't just mimic sounds. They seem to understand the meaning of the words and can actually use them to communicate their needs and desires.
So they're not just mindless mimics, they're actually using language.
It seems that way.
That changes everything.
It really does. And then you have crows.
Right.
These unassuming black birds with brains that pack a punch.
Okay, I admit I've always underestimated crows. What makes them so special?
Well, crows are like problem-solving masters. They use tools, they remember faces, and they can even plan for the future.
Really?
Yeah. The documentary talked about an experiment where they presented crows with a puzzle involving a piece of wire. And the crows figured out not only how to bend the wire into a hook to retrieve food, but some of them actually anticipated needing the hook and made it before they even saw the food.
Hold on. They made tools in anticipation of a future need.
It seems that way.
That's crazy. Are you telling me crows can think ahead like that?
The research suggests that they can.
Wow.
And, it really challenges our understanding of not just animal intelligence, but also consciousness. If crows can plan for the future, what does that say about their awareness of time and their own existence?
That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
It's like we're only just scratching the surface of what's really going on in their minds.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so exciting. I mean, we're constantly pushing the boundaries of what we thought we knew about animal intelligence.
Okay, so we've covered primates, cetaceans, and birds. But I know there are so many other fascinating, intelligent creatures out there.
Right.
Where do we even go from here?
Well, the documentary you shared touched on elephants, and they are truly remarkable.
Yeah.
Their social intelligence is off the charts.
Yeah, I've always heard that elephants have incredible memories.
Yes.
But what else makes them stand out intellectually?
Well, their memories are legendary for a reason.
Right.
They can remember individuals and locations for decades.
Wow.
But it's not just about remembering facts.
Okay.
They seem to understand complex social dynamics, forming strong family bonds, grieving for their dead, and even showing empathy for other species.
Really?
There are documented cases of elephants helping injured animals, including humans.
So they're not just smart, they're compassionate.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we always associate intelligence with things like problem solving and tool use, but maybe we need to broaden our definition.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the key takeaways from this whole deep dive.
Okay.
Intelligence isn't a one-size-fits-all concept.
Right.
It manifests in different ways depending on the species and their environment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what other unusual suspects should we be paying attention to?
Well, you mentioned that the documentary called Octopuses, the Most Intelligent Invertebrates.
Right.
And I have to agree, they're truly fascinating creatures.
Yeah, I've seen videos of them, changing color and squeezing through tiny spaces,
Uh-huh.
like they're from another planet.
I know.
But what makes their intelligence so unique?
Well, their brains are structured completely differently from vertebrates. Yet they exhibit remarkable problem-solving abilities.
Okay.
They can navigate mazes, open jars, and even learn through observation.
Right.
And the fact that they can regenerate limbs
Right.
and change color to blend seamlessly into their surroundings just
Mm.
adds another layer of complexity to their cognitive abilities.
It's like they've got all these superpowers on top of being incredibly smart.
Right.
Yeah.
And remember, they're doing all this without a central brain like ours.
Right.
Their intelligence is distributed throughout their body, with each arm capable of independent action.
Really?
It's a completely different model of intelligence than we're used to.
So they're basically decentralized geniuses.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder what else we're missing, just because we're looking for intelligence that resembles our own.
that's a really important point.
Yeah.
We tend to be anthropocentric in our view of intelligence,
Right.
but the animal kingdom is full of examples that defy our expectations.
Yeah.
The YouTube video you sent, for instance, highlights the surprising intelligence of pigs.
Pigs.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I always thought of them as, well, not the sharpest tools in the shed. What makes them so smart?
Pigs are actually incredibly adaptable and quick learners.
Oh.
They've been shown to solve complex puzzles, recognize themselves in mirrors, and even exhibit some social awareness. They communicate with each other using a variety of grunts and squeals, and they form social hierarchies within their groups.
So they're not just rolling around in the mud, they're building relationships and solving problems.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it goes to show that intelligence can manifest in unexpected places.
Yeah.
We can't judge a book by its cover,
Right.
or in this case, a pig by its snout.
All right. So we can't forget about man's best friend.
Of course not.
Dogs might not be building spaceships or planning for the apocalypse,
Right.
but they're incredibly skilled at understanding human emotions and communication.
Yeah.
Is that a form of intelligence?
Absolutely. Dogs have evolved alongside humans for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And that close relationship has shaped their cognitive abilities.
Okay.
They're incredibly attuned to our facial expressions, tone of voice, and even our body language.
Yeah.
They can learn hundreds of words and commands, and some even seem to understand basic concepts like object permanence and cause and effect.
It's like they have this special kind of emotional intelligence that allows them to connect with us on a deeper level.
And that connection goes both ways.
Right.
Dogs don't just understand us, they learn from us.
Right.
They cooperate with us, and they even seem to comfort us when we're down.
Yeah,
It's a truly remarkable partnership,
it is.
and it speaks to the power of interspecies communication and understanding.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. It's like I'm seeing the animal kingdom with fresh eyes.
That's the beauty of exploration.
Yeah.
It allows us to challenge our preconceived notions and appreciate the incredible diversity and complexity of the natural world.
So where do we go from here? If we're redefining intelligence, what are the implications for how we treat animals?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we acknowledge the intelligence and sentience of other species,
Right.
it forces us to reconsider our ethical obligations toward them.
I mean, we can't just keep treating them as mindless resources if they're capable of feeling emotions, forming social bonds, and making complex decisions.
Exactly. It raises questions about everything from animal testing to factory farming
Right.
to the way we interact with animals in our daily lives.
Yeah.
We need to move beyond a purely utilitarian view of animals
Sorry.
and recognize their inherent value as sentient beings.
It's a huge shift in thinking,
It is.
but it feels like a necessary one.
And it's a conversation that's gaining momentum.
Okay.
More and more researchers, ethicists, and even policymakers are recognizing the need to consider animal welfare
Uh-huh.
and grant certain species greater protections.
It's almost like we're at a turning point in our relationship with the animal kingdom.
It seems that way.
We're finally starting to see them for the complex, intelligent beings they truly are.
And that realization has the potential to transform not just how we treat animals,
Right.
but also how we understand ourselves and our place in the web of life.
This has been an incredible journey, and I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too.
But I'm also left with so many more questions.
Yeah.
What other amazing intelligences are out there waiting to be discovered? What are the ethical implications of recognizing animal sentience?
Those are questions we'll continue to grapple with as our understanding of animal intelligence evolves.
Well, one thing's for sure.
What's that?
This deep dive has opened my eyes to a whole new world of wonder and possibility. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah.
There must be so much more to discover about animal intelligence.
Definitely. I mean, this field is constantly evolving.
Right.
New technologies, new research methods
Yeah.
are allowing us to study animal minds in ways we couldn't have even imagined just a few decades ago.
What are some of the most exciting new discoveries or areas of research that you're following?
Well, one area that I'm really fascinated by is animal communication.
Okay.
We're starting to decode those complex vocalizations
Yeah.
and gestures from species like dolphins, whales, and even birds.
Okay.
And what we're finding is that their communication systems can be incredibly sophisticated,
Really?
conveying information about, food sources, potential threats, even their own emotions.
So it's not just about, like, basic survival signals.
No.
They're expressing themselves in ways we're just beginning to understand.
Exactly.
All
And
right.
the more we learn about how they communicate, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
Yeah.
It's like we're learning this whole new language,
Right,
and it
right.
has the potential to just revolutionize how
Yeah.
we understand how animals think and experience the world.
That's incredible. What else is on the horizon for animal intelligence research?
Another exciting area is the development of non-invasive brain imaging techniques.
Okay.
We can actually study the brain activity of animals in their natural environments now
Right.
without having to do like stressful or invasive procedures.
That's great.
So we can actually observe how their brains process information, make decisions, even form memories.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into their inner world, seeing the world through their eyes.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
And what we're seeing is really challenging those assumptions about the boundaries of animal intelligence.
Right.
It's becoming more and more clear that many species possess cognitive abilities that we thought were unique to humans.
Yeah. It's a humbling realization, isn't it?
It is.
It makes you wonder what other incredible intelligences are out there just waiting to be discovered.
It really does. And, I think it's that sense of wonder
Yeah.
that drives so many researchers in this field. We're
Mhm.
constantly being surprised and amazed by, the ingenuity and the adaptability.
Of the natural world.
This deep dive has definitely sparked a sense of wonder in me.
Good.
I'm going to look at the animals in my life, even the squirrels in my backyard, with a newfound appreciation for their intelligence.
That's great. Yeah, I encourage everyone to approach the natural world with a sense of curiosity and
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
You never know what amazing discoveries you might make, even in your own backyard.
Well, this has been an eye-opening conversation. I feel like I've learned so much, not just about animal intelligence, but also about ourselves and our place in the grand scheme of things.
I agree. The more we learn about other species, the more we realize how interconnected we all are.
Yeah.
And I think that understanding it's crucial, not just for the well-being of animals,
Right.
but for the future of our planet as a whole. So to our listeners out there,
Yes.
I hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore the world
Yeah.
with a renewed sense of curiosity and wonder.
Definitely.
Keep asking questions, keep
Yeah.
learning, and never underestimate the intelligence of the creatures we share this planet with. Until next time, happy diving.